It's Wednesday, July 29th. This is CTV at 6. Here's what's making news tonight. Crews battle a wildfire burning near Moncton as dry conditions persist. Halifax gymnast Ellie Black sets a golden record at the Commonwealth Games.
It's showers for the Maritimes tomorrow, and they could come in with some brief downpours.
Live from our Maritimes News Center, this is CTV News at 6. Here is Todd Battis.
Good evening. Firefighters have been wrestling with an out-of-control fire in southeast New Brunswick for over 24 hours now. Water bombers were called in last night, and crews have been at it since this morning. CTV's Derek Haggett has the latest.
Fire crews, both local and provincial, went up and down this dirt road outside Riverview all day long. As of late this afternoon, the out-of-control wildfire was 5 hectares in size, and only about 30% has been contained. Firefighters responded around 5:30 yesterday.
I know these things can spread quickly, especially with the fires in Nova Scotia that we had seen that were really devastating, so just trying to keep tabs on things.
Water bombers were used last evening, and aircraft were back circling around the area today. Just before noon, the town of Riverview notified residents there was currently no threat to the public, but there's concern for those who live a few kilometers away.
This hasn't happened before, but I'm not surprised. We live in an area that backs on hundreds and hundreds of acres of forest.
Yesterday was more of a concern when the fires announced, and overnight when it grew in size, but fire department's there now.
While you can smell the smoke, it's tough to see in the area, but the size can clearly be seen from an elevated view in Moncton. Fire trucks traveled back and forth to this hydrant in town until a massive water tanker arrived early this afternoon. I spoke briefly with Riverview's fire chief today, who says there were about 30 firefighters from Riverview, Hillsborough, and the Department of Natural Resources doing everything they can to make sure this fire gets under control. The town closed off a section of a nearby hiking trail as crews kept working all day in the heat and dry conditions. Derek Haggett, CTV News, near Riverview, New Brunswick.
Well, that's how it looks right now in nearby Moncton, where it is 27 degrees. Let's bring in CTV meteorologist Kaylin Mitchell. Kaylin, anything on the radar that might suggest some help in the way of rain for that part of the province?
Not imminently, but they may get into a few showers for tomorrow. We saw 27 at Moncton, but the humidex making it feel 34. So, Todd, there is some humidity in the air. Yeah. So that's at least a little bit of good news, is that there is some moisture present. It's just not in the form of rain or showers. As we take a look at radar and satellite, I've just marked the approximate location of that wildfire on the map. We can take a little bit of a closer look. There is some cloudiness around most of it, those thin, high cloud cover. And again, not expecting much precipitation in the vicinity of that wildfire as we make our way through this evening and tonight. There may be some fog that develops in the area. On the plus side for fire conditions, the winds have been relatively light today. They've been out of the south, and they're going to be getting lighter, as we can see. This is in around the Riverview area, which is to the north of that location of the fire. But you can see the winds are expected to come down as we head towards and after midnight. Here's a look at precipitation amounts, though. Again, around the Riverview area, expected as we head through this evening, tonight, and into the overnight hours, and nothing much really showing up. But changes will come for the Maritimes on Thursday. There's a trough of low pressure and a slow-moving low-pressure system approach. We can see that here showing up on radar. Most of the shower activity and a few thunderstorms right now taking place down around the northeastern United States. The entirety of that weather system, though, does get a little bit closer to the Maritimes for tomorrow, and that will increase shower chances in the region. Now, the amount of precipitation that's expected out of this weather system for the province of New Brunswick, where showers show up, it's mostly only going to be a few to several millimeters. Same thing goes for Prince Edward Island and for most of Nova Scotia. Though for the province of Nova Scotia, it is possible that there could be some brief downpours that pass through the weather system. That's showing up here with the presence of some of the brighter colors, yellows into oranges and reds, and that could bring in some very localized rainfall totals of around 15 to 30 millimeters. But that type of rain would be very spotty in the region, so no guarantees that it gets up in and around the vicinity of that wildfire tomorrow. We will talk more about the showers in the forecast for the end of this week when I'm back a little bit later on.
Yes, we will in about 15 minutes. Thank you, Kellen. Nova Scotia Premier Tim Houston continued his tour of the province today with a stop in his home riding of Pictou County. He was once again met by protesters. Joining us now with more on this meeting is CTV's Stephanie Seco. She's in the newsroom. Steph, what happened there today?
Todd, a small but vocal group was waiting for the Premier when he arrived at the Pictou County Chamber of Commerce. Social media posts brought about 25 or so people to the rally, singing and chanting. Compared to yesterday's shouting in Bridgewater and violence in Wolfville, this was a more restrained affair, even with some protesters yelling their opposition, though everyone stayed behind a barrier. Houston engaged with the crowd and took questions from those in attendance.
There are so many issues now, but what got me started coming out to the rallies was my deep concern over the peaker plants that have been proposed for Marshdale and Salt Springs here in Pictou County.
These are going to be big impacts for our kids and the next generation and the environment, what they're planning to do right now. And we thought we were done with the fracking bit. Like that was already, the moratorium was put on in 2016. People fought really hard for that.
Houston says he values the opinions of those who showed up today. He also said his government has to do what's best for the province based on the science, something he also said to protesters. And Todd, Houston's next stop on his Chambers of Commerce tour is Tuesday in Truro.
All right, Stephanie Seco's in the newsroom tonight. Of course, Steph will be here with your late news in for Bruce tonight at 11:30. Thank you, Stephanie. Nova Scotia is making changes to the way the RCMP is billed for its services across the province. It's a major change to the policing model and one the government says will make communities safer. CTV's Jesse Thomas has the details.
Nova Scotia is making big changes to how RCMP police the province by changing the way they bill the RCMP for its service. A move the Justice Minister says will make communities safer.
If you're talking a small rural constituency or small rural municipality that has a huge geography but a really small population, that model just didn't fit.
For years, the province and municipalities have paid the RCMP for policing based on the number of officers employed at each municipal detachment. That's changing in October, where the province will move to a data-driven funding formula, looking at data and facts like the Crime Severity Index to measure policing needs in communities, along with demographics like population and geography as a means for staffing.
We're moving away from that really rigid per-officer cost model and towards a calculation that is service-based, data-informed, and grounded in operational need, service demand, community risk, geography, and much broader public safety pressures.
Officials say this funding approach will lead to a more coordinated policing model and also save municipalities money. But the province wants municipalities to put those savings back into public safety initiatives of their choice.
For example, many times a fully kitted trained police officer has to sit in an emergency room with someone for hour after hour, and that keeps them off the street. Maybe somebody else would have the skill set and the training to do that job. Maybe that's something that municipality might invest in.
The province is also increasing its annual spending on RCMP services. They're spending an additional $16 million of taxpayers' money to hire 25 new officers, 14 of which have already been hired. And Todd, for a big picture impression, there are currently around 1,200 RCMP officers working across the province.
CTV's Jesse Thomas for us in Halifax. We're going to make this a web poll tonight. We're asking this question: does your province spend enough money on policing? Your options are yes, it spends the right amount, no, it doesn't spend enough, or I think it spends too much. All right, you can vote at ctvnewsatlantic.ca. Halifax police have released photos of suspect vehicles involved in a shooting last night. Police need the public's help in identifying the drivers and passengers in two vehicles that were on Alfred Street in Dartmouth just before 7 o'clock. One car is a silver Honda Civic. The other is described as a dark-colored sedan. Officers responded to calls of gunshots in the area, and shell casings were found, though no injuries were reported. If you can assist, police would like to hear from you. And Halifax police are looking for a motorcyclist who hit an e-bike rider near the McDonald Bridge. The details are up now at ctvnewsatlantic.ca. Just when they should be open longest, 2 Halifax area parks are closing and locking their gates earlier. It's a move in response to vandalism and safety concerns. CTV's Emma Convey reports.
A new sign is now at the entrance of the Kiwanis Beach and Park Morris Lake. It has their shortened hours. That comes amid some unwanted after-hours activities in the park.
It's the amount of people there, music going in the middle of the night, a lot of gatherings, loud noises, parties, and then actually fighting and disturbing neighbors.
They don't know who's doing it, but the recent incident that prompted this closure was feedback from neighbors calling the police about lots of kids there at night and cruisers and ambulances arriving there around 2 a.m.
It became the violence happening by the side of the road. And particularly, I was informed that, someone got assaulted there and was chased down the road.
They hope locking up at dusk will deter these behaviors.
As soon as we hear that kind of stuff, that's not what the community represents, and absolutely not acceptable for the park to be accommodating anything like that.
It's not the only park having to close at night. The Acadia Park and Community Centre in Lower Sackville has seen an increase in safety concerns and vandalism.
Benches destroyed, our wooden picnic tables get totally destroyed, scratched on, people trying to etch their name or symbol.
Since opening in 2010, this is the second time volunteers here have had to close at night because of vandalism. They say people are sleeping in the park, doing drugs on the back tables, and damaging the property.
The wooden picnic tables, when they're finished destroying them, they light them on fire. So we've had the fire department down here, things like this, and we get the police.
The most recent incidents prompted the locked gates.
There were people in the park letting off fireworks. And as you can see, we have a lot of greenery around here that can catch fire.
The volunteers say it's disheartening and worrisome to see their spaces no longer respected. Those who run both of these parks say if you see anyone going inside the parks beyond their hours, contact police. Emma Convey, CTV News, Lower Sackville.
Get the Maritime's top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
In Prince Edward Island, a staffing shortage is shutting down the ER at the Western Hospital for the 4th time this month. The emergency department in Alberton will be closed today, reopening tomorrow at 8 o'clock. The closest emergency room is about an hour away at the Prince County Hospital in Summerside. Health PEI says call 911 for emergencies or 811 for health advice. And in Nova Scotia, the ER at Lunenburg's Fisherman's Memorial Hospital is closed until 7:30 tomorrow morning. Construction of a new residential community in the middle of Halifax promises housing for thousands of people. The developer is also promising it won't create traffic nightmares, like many people fear. Here's CTV's Callum Smith.
The land is being cleared to pave the way for building. A 73-acre footprint that can be seen from the McKay Bridge. This space behind Mount St. Vincent University could see around 7,800 people living here in the next decade. The original development agreement was inked in 2018, but since that time,
HRM has changed some of their planning requirements through the Housing Accelerator Fund to allow for some additional height to increase density in response to the housing crisis.
And that would almost certainly put more cars on already choked streets like the nearby Bedford Highway.
Primarily, my immediate concerns would be the traffic. I don't know if the Bedford Highway and Lacewood are going to be equipped to handle this kind of extra volume, particularly in the morning and rush hour traffic.
The developer says traffic and noise are common complaints when it comes to new builds. As for traffic concerns, Southwest Property CEO Ben Young tells me that this will be a first-of-its-kind project for Halifax, being truly walkable, allowing folks to get to coffee, restaurant, or grocery stores. He says when people do need to leave the area, though, transit will come through the subdivision. Asked if this $1.6 billion proposal is an unprecedented scale for development, a city planner says.
No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, historically, perhaps, but as of late, there have been several developments of this size.
A city survey is due by Friday. Then a vote to approve or deny the additional units will come to Community Council early next year. The total unit count will depend on that and the market, but single-family homes are to be ready within the next 4 to 5 years, and the multi-unit buildings will take 8 to 11 years. Callum Smith, CTV News, Halifax.
Bell Canada says copper wire theft has increased by triple digits year over year in New Brunswick. The province is leading a national surge of incidents for the first half of this year. CTV's Nick Moore has the details. Hi, Nick. What's behind this?
Well, good evening, Todd. Bell, which is the owner of this television station, says there have been 268 reported incidents of vandalism and theft, which has affected its telecommunications infrastructure in New Brunswick so far this year. That is a 235% increase compared to 2025. The telecommunications company says Ontario and New Brunswick account for most of the increased theft reported across the country, a 78% increase nationally over the same period in 2025. Bell says rural areas around Fredericton and Charlotte County continue to be the hot spots for copper theft activity around New Brunswick, with more recent activity in the Moncton area.
We've been investing a lot in improved surveillance so that we can be more robust in the way that we respond to the thefts. And also a big win more recently was the passing of Bill C-14 federally, which really tightens bail practices and strengthens sentencing for those people caught vandalizing critical infrastructure.
St. John Police responded to a report of copper wire theft on Redhead Road early Saturday morning at around 3:30 a.m., which caused an internet outage. And last week, New Brunswick RCMP said a 38-year-old man from Seeley's Cove was arrested in relation to copper wire theft at a local tower targeted frequently with theft and vandalism. The Mounties say it used a drone as part of that investigation. And Bell says there's also been an increase in the number of people who have been arrested for vandalism and theft, up 32% so far this year. Todd.
CTV's Nick Moore in St. George, New Brunswick this evening. All right, time for some commercials still to come. Kaylin will have the full forecast. We'll speak with Halifax gymnast Ellie Black at the Commonwealth Games. But next, bridging a technology gap.
We can do up to 19 passenger traffic vehicles or 16 commercial truck traffic vehicles.
Behind all the drama of the Gordie Howe Bridge is some pretty impressive security systems. We'll show you after this.
This is your Campfire Conditions Report, brought to you by Pine Acres RV, where customers become friends. For most of the province of New Brunswick, you are currently not allowed to have a campfire. The one exception is St. John County, where campfires are permitted between the hours of 8 p.m. and 8 a.m. In Nova Scotia, you are currently allowed to have a campfire between 7 p.m. and 8 a.m. And for the province of Prince Edward Island, campfires are currently permitted, with domestic brush burning allowed between the hours of 2 p.m. and 8 a.m. Remember to keep fires small and under control and never leave a fire unattended.
The spat with Washington over paying for the Gordie Howe Bridge dominated headlines around the span's opening. But in the background, the largest, most advanced security setup of any Canadian border crossing is now working. CTV's Michelle Molesky has a look.
This is Detector Dog Unique. One of the many new hires for the Canada Border Services Agency, now manning the Gordie Howe International Bridge.
Trained in the detection of narcotics and firearms. And CBSA uses what we call a passive indication system. So these dogs are trained to sit when they see something or smell something.
Here at secondary inspection, staff are now equipped with plenty of space for all travelers.
We have a very nice waiting area for asylum claimants that might arrive. And then a little bit further down, we have a dedicated bus processing area, which allows us to be extremely efficient and make sure that we can process high volume buses in a dedicated way.
There are also 4 specialized bays in the CBSA garage.
So you can use the different filters. There's a jar with an anomaly inside, so we'd want to take a closer look at that.
Here they can search baggage just like at the airport.
Simulated narcotics, kilograms of cocaine, simulated cocaine.
And their scanners can detect contraband or illegal firearms without opening a single door.
So you can see the outline of a gun.
On the commercial side, the Gordie boasts the most examination bays with 14 in total, and they're doing away with the mobile X-ray technology.
This fixed LSI building allows us to run 24/7 and take a non-intrusive look at any vehicles, identify any anomalies such as suspect narcotics or other things that we might want to interdict, and we can keep truck traffic moving faster by doing that.
Traffic patterns are monitored by operator Bridging North America, which will coordinate with CBSA should any of the lanes need to shift from traveler to trucker or vice versa.
We do have flexibility in the lanes, so we can do up to 19 passenger traffic vehicles or 16 commercial truck traffic vehicles.
Michelle Molaski, CTV News.
A few showers are moving into the region tomorrow. Kayla Mitchell has the details of where they may be falling. Love that. After this commercial break. Beautiful shot there. Sunny conditions over the vineyards of the Annapolis Valley, where some of the best wine in this country is produced. This is in the canning area. I believe that's the Blomidon Winery.
Could be a scene in Tuscany, Todd.
It is the Blomidon Winery, I'm told.
Okay.
They, like others in the region, produce some very nice wines.
Yes.
And probably shaping up to be a pretty good year.
With the temperatures? Yeah, they did kind of do a bit of a turnaround as we worked our way into sort of the middle part of summer. I know we kind of started off, you know, late spring, early summer, maybe a little bit cool than people would have liked, but temperatures really picked up after that. Let's talk a little bit more about what's headed our way over the next couple of days, which is some showers. And we want to see a little bit of wet weather in the Maritimes because we've been in a little bit of a sunny and dry stretch here, and we'd like to see that broken up a little bit. So I want to talk a little bit about where this moisture is coming from in the showers, and we're taking a look at basically an overview of where there's some moisture available in the atmosphere to come down in the form of rain. And areas highlighted in through the cooler colors, the blues, very low amount of moisture available, and areas highlighted in through the brighter colors, the yellows into oranges. That's where there is more moisture available for rain. And you can see there's a bit of a draw of some of that moisture coming up from the subtropical Atlantic and towards a meandering low pressure system that's situated right now in the northeastern United States. And that's the weather system that moves a little bit closer to the Maritimes for tomorrow. So as that low gets a little bit closer to us, so does this moisture it's bringing up from the south, and that could feed into that weather system and the showers it's expected to produce into the effect of bringing in some brief downpours within those showers tomorrow for the Maritimes. Now the chance or risk of a downpour is going to be highest for the province of Nova Scotia, and for the mainland of Nova Scotia the chance of downpour highest in the morning hours, and then for Cape Breton later Thursday afternoon and Thursday evening. There's a lower chance of a downpour with any showers for both New Brunswick as well as Prince Edward Island. You can see some of that moisture off the Atlantic just gets a little bit closer to Nova Scotia, and so there's a higher chance of it feeding into any of the showers that the weather system is going to be bringing in. So let's take a look at that in our forecast timeline for cloud cover and precipitation. First of all, for the rest of tonight, increasing cloudiness. There'll be some fog developing like there has been over the last couple of nights, most widespread around the Atlantic coastline of Nova Scotia and the Bay of Fundy coastline in New Brunswick. But then shortly after midnight, the first round of showers approaches the southwest of Nova Scotia, and that comes into the west of that province as we move into the early morning hours of Thursday. And the potential for some higher rainfall rates here is indicated through the oranges and reds. So again, this is going to be a mixture of mostly lighter showers, but maybe with some localized downpours that could be around for about an hour or two. As we make our way through the afternoon, that band of showers crosses Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, and some scattered showers get back into the province of New Brunswick. And then heading into the evening and nighttime hours, it mostly clears through except for that lingering chance of a shower or downpour in Cape Breton. Here's what this could look like as far as timing goes. We'll take a look at Shelburne, Nova Scotia. So this is down in the southwest. And you can see that after midnight, that first round of showers comes in, and the potential for a downpour there around 4 a.m. Before the precipitation becomes lighter after that, moving through the rest of the morning. Now, forecast models like the one we're looking at here are pretty good at indicating that there is the potential or chance of a downpour or higher rainfall rates, but they're not so good at exactly pinpointing the location that the downpour will move through. So sure, Shelburne could see a downpour for tomorrow, but it could also occur a little bit further up the South Shore, maybe closer towards Liverpool. Those areas that do get a downpour, though, could pick up some rainfall amounts as high as 15 to 30 millimeters. The remainder of the Maritimes, and this will be for most communities that see a lighter shower, could only be a few to several millimeters of rain. Winds in the forecast for tomorrow for the region, they do change direction. They're going to become easterly. They'll be sustained 10 to 20 kilometers per hour with some gusts between 20 and 40. Low temperatures in the forecast for tonight for the Maritimes are going to be mild. Most of the lows will be around the mid to high teens. High temperatures in the forecast for tomorrow are going to be a little bit cooler than the past couple of days. They'll be mostly in the low 20s, but there's still going to be a lot of mugginess in the air. So with the humidex, many locations in New Brunswick will be feeling into the mid to high 20s. There's a chance of showers on Friday. After that, for the upcoming long weekend, things clear up a little bit for New Brunswick. Saturday and Sunday, mix of sun and cloud, and it still looks like it's going to be plenty warm with highs in the high 20s. Showers then return to the forecast on the holiday Monday, and then followed by a mix of sun and cloud Tuesday into Wednesday of next week. For Nova Scotia in the forecast, some further scattered showers expected on Friday, but a lower chance of downpours. Saturday, a little bit cloudier and temperatures around the low to mid 20s, but the mid to high 20s on Sunday with a mix of sun and cloud. After that, chance of showers on Monday, though for Nova Scotia, those showers may hold off until Monday evening and night. Chance of showers on Tuesday and Wednesday, a mix of sun and cloud. And here we are for Prince Edward Island. Scattered showers over the next couple of days. Some cloudier conditions on Saturday, holding temperatures down a little bit, but Sunday looks like it'll be the pick of the long weekend. High temperatures near 26 with a mix of sun and cloud. Low chance of showers right now on Monday for Prince Edward Island, then a bit of a higher chance of showers on Tuesday, and then Wednesday, a mix of sun and cloud. Todd.
A nice long weekend. Thank you, Kaylin. We'll see you towards the end of the show. In sports, and this is great news, in the last few minutes, we learned Nova Scotia's Sarah Mitten has won gold in shot put at the Commonwealth Games. Well, coming up, we'll speak with another gold medalist, gymnast Ellie Black. She's in Scotland. That's next. Welcome back. Canada is having a very successful run at the Commonwealth Games, currently underway in Glasgow, Scotland. Leading the pack is Halifax's Ellie Black, who just became the first ever gymnast to win gold in the all-around competition for a second time at the Commonwealth Games. And she joins us from what has been, a very rainy Glasgow, hey?
Yes, unfortunately, the weather hasn't been great, but the competition has been fantastic.
The competition has been wonderful, and you get to compete inside, so not all bad. Hey, congratulations. We're very proud of you here at home. You hadn't competed in an all-round event, in a couple of years?
Yeah, since Paris, actually. So this was my first, qualification day was my first all-around competition in about 2 years, and the all-around final was my second 24 hours later. So it was quite a bit, but I was really proud of my efforts and the competition and how it went, and it's just a really good starting point for me and for our team as we work towards the World Championships in the fall.
Yeah, well, clearly. So you just figure, look, it's been a couple of years, but I'll just go out and win this thing, right?
My teammate was like, "You're crazy."
And I've read that you didn't initially realize that you had accomplished this feat, being only the second person to win gold in this until a little later?
Until after the competition, really. We were going through the mixed zone, the media, and someone had mentioned to me that that was a historic feat, and I had no idea. So that was really special to hear that. I didn't know that I was the first gymnast to, win 2 Commonwealth all-around titles. So I think that was really special, and to do it, at my age, at my third Commonwealth Games, and kind of a full circle moment because my first Commonwealth Games were actually in Glasgow. So it was a very, very special moment. And yeah, I was happy to be able to do that for Canada.
Yeah, back in 2014. So obviously Glasgow is going to hold a special place for you.
Absolutely. Yeah. The city is amazing. The volunteers have been great. The venue was just fantastic. The competition was great. So I just, it's another amazing memory, this competition, and I'll carry that forward.
So, it was tight, right? You had to win it on the floor routine, the last routine. Is that a favorite event of yours?
I love performing on floor. It was actually a new floor routine for me, so new choreography. So it takes a lot of endurance and a lot of energy out of you. But at the end, I was just like, you know what? I have to go out there, try and do a good routine, and that'll put me where it puts me. But it was enough to get the gold, which was super special. And I finished on the podium with Leah Monica, my teammate as well. So it was really beautiful to be able to share that moment with her.
Yeah, and you've had to endure an ankle issue. Obviously, that wasn't a problem.
Yeah, we've been taking a little bit of time since Paris, really, to let the body and the mind heal. And especially as you get older in the sport, you just have to be a little bit more mindful and smart with the training and how much you compete. So we really do work hard at that. I've got a great team who's supporting me, and we've got a great plan as we work towards the LA Olympics. So I think it's just about managing, knowing, what your limits are and knowing how many reps to do. But it's clearly working. We're doing a really great job, and yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, clearly it's working. You mentioned your teammate. You took the team silver, almost gold, really close with the Australians. That must be rewarding. And you mentioned the Worlds. It sets you up in a good position.
Absolutely. This whole team was fantastic, and it was their first Commonwealth Games, so to see it through their eyes was really special. They bring so much energy to our gymnastics team, and it gives us a lot of confidence, and I think it's a lot of inspiration for especially the extended team back home, to know that we can do this and we're doing it, and we've got a lot more to give. And we're going to be excited to keep polishing and building those routines as we work towards the Worlds and over the next 2 years as we work towards LA.
Because they're young, and you've been at this a little while, they had such nice things to say about you. Are you enjoying this leadership role?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. They are such incredible teammates, and I just want to help guide them and share my experience with them so they have the best opportunities and experiences they can take away, and the best performances they can. And all together collectively, we want to do the best for Canada, and we support each other and we push each other. And it's really inspiring for me too to be able to work with them, because it's like renewing the energy, and it keeps pushing me as well. And so yeah, we have a great team, and yeah, I just hopefully want to inspire them to continue and to keep pushing for those higher levels, and they inspire me every day.
Yeah, well, and clearly you do inspire them, and you inspire a lot of young people here at home as well, young women and girls, and all athletes who are aspiring to get to a certain place in their chosen sport look at you and determine that, well, look, she can do this from here in the Maritimes, maybe I can too.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite parts of my story, and I always say that, but I really do hope to inspire that. It doesn't matter where you come from, if you're from a smaller city or province, wherever it is, if you have a dream and you want to work hard and go after that, you can make it happen, and surround yourself with people who want to be a part of that journey. And we've got incredible people who come from our province in Nova Scotia, and I'm just so proud to be Nova Scotian. I'm so proud to be able to train and live in Halifax and be able to reach the highest level of sport, and yeah, hopefully show that it's possible for anyone who wants to take that path.
Little downtime now to get to have some summer after all?
Yes, I'm hoping to come back home, grab some sun. I feel like I've been missing it, take a little bit of a rest, and then we'll be kind of working towards the fall and the competitions that come up.
Right. Well, I think it's supposed to be a decent weekend, so if you're zipping back, maybe we'll have some sun for you.
I'm going to be home this weekend, so I'm hoping that the sun's going to be out.
Okay. We'll make a request to the Weather Center here. Ellie Black, thank you very much for taking time. I know you're busy in Glasgow. Congratulations again on behalf of everybody here on the East Coast, and we'll talk to you when you're back home.
Thank you so much, and thank you for all the support.
We'll take a break. We'll be right back with more of your show after this. In medical news, we look at how a molecule hat makes snails sleepy and why that could help with organ transplants. CTV's Amanda Debison explains it all in the Lifeline.
A University of Alberta discovery could change the way doctors treat heart attacks and preserve organs. Researchers have created a first-of-its-kind drug called SNAP. The drug mimics a process found in hibernating snails and other animals. SNAP puts cells into a low-energy state, which protects them when oxygen and nutrients are limited. Researchers say the discovery could help reduce damage from heart attacks and better preserve organs waiting for transplants.
If we use this drug in these organs, we will improve their shelf life, make them last longer, have a better chance of finding the perfect donor. The second application is that we could be giving this drug to patients that are having a heart attack and you're trying to open the blood vessel with stents or do bypass surgery. These hearts also get damaged for similar reasons. So if we could give it to a human being, the damage from heart attacks would be less.
Researchers believe the discovery could also have a role in anti-aging and long-term space travel. They say more research is needed before the drug can be tested on people. South of the border, new research shows 4 out of 5 food items sold for U.S. toddlers are ultra-processed. It also says almost half fail to reach any World Health Organization nutritional benchmarks. The WHO has a nutrient and promotion profile model for children between 6 and 36 months of age. It says foods marketed to that age group should have no added sugar, artificial sweeteners, or concentrated fruit juices. It also recommends limiting saturated fats and sodium. The study includes analysis of more than 2,700 grocery store items. Finally, another benefit to the great outdoors. Simply spending time outside may improve mental health. That's according to a study from the journal Nature Medicine. It found being outside in spaces like forests, parks, and gardens can lower anxiety, depression, and heart rate. Even just being near water can help you relax and improve your mood. With Health and Medical News, I'm Amanda Debison for the Lifeline.
Time for The Scene, another summer blockbuster hitting theaters this weekend. Tom Holland is back in pajamas as Spider-Man. CNN's Rick Damigella looks back at 10 years of Holland's Spidey history.
Hey everyone.
Tom Holland made his big screen Spider-Man debut in 2016's Captain America: Civil War, introducing the web slinger into the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
This is my chance to prove myself.
2017 saw Holland suit up for his own movie, Spider-Man: Homecoming. In 2018, Holland found himself blasting off in Avengers: Infinity War, turned to dust by Thanos, and brought back for the climax of Avengers: Endgame in 2019.
You gonna be the next Iron Man now?
Well, no, I don't have time. I'm too busy doing your jobs.
What? Mere months after the events of Endgame, Holland was back in theaters in Spider-Man: Far From Home.
I've only had 1 week where my life has felt normal.
In 2021, Holland's Spidey came face to face with Tobey Maguire's and Andrew Garfield's wall crawlers in Spider-Man: No Way Home, and had a mid-credits cameo in Venom: Let There Be Carnage.
I promised you that I would keep you safe. Please, you just have to trust me.
5 years later, Holland is back in Spider-Man: Brand New Day, with the world still unaware who the hero under the mask is. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
We got some sad news today from the music industry. Irish singer and actor Glenn Hansard has died.
You have a choice, you make it now.
Remember that one? That was a big song at the time. The Academy Award-winning singer-songwriter was killed in a motorcycle crash in Dublin early this morning. Hansard played a member of the Dublin soul band in the 1991 hit movie The Commitments, then won that Oscar in 2008 for the song Falling Slowly from the film Once, in which he also starred. Irish Prime Minister Michael Martin paid tribute to him on social media today. Glenn Hansard, was just 56 years old. The business report is coming up. First, let's check in with Kaylin Mitchell.
The Great Outdoors Comedy Festival is just a week away. The event will take place from August 6th to 9th on the Garrison grounds in Halifax and will feature comedians Matt Rife, Andrew Schultz, Nikki Glazer, and more. One lucky viewer will win 2 VIP tickets to Thursday's show to see Matt Rife. Go to ctvatlantic.ca or scan the QR code on the screen to enter. The contest is open until 6 p.m. Thursday. Don't miss out on your chance to enjoy live comedy in the Great Outdoors.
This was a rough day for the Dow Jones. It closed the trading day down 1,153 points. Big tech companies have started reporting their earnings. BNN Bloomberg's Marella Fernandez has the numbers.
Microsoft shared its numbers after the end of the trading day. A key metric for Microsoft is the amount of money it makes from its cloud service called Azure. It came in above $100 billion US for the first time. That's 43% better year over year. Another key number, how many people are using Copilot, Microsoft's AI agent? The company says it reached over 30 million paid seats. That's 10 million more than its last quarter. Meta also reported today revenue for its latest quarter was $60 billion US, but its revenue forecast disappointed analysts. Investors are concerned about how much the social media company is investing in AI and how it's going to make that money back. Meta projects spending at least $130 billion US just this year. The U.S. Federal Reserve has held the key lending rate at 3.5 to 3.75%. It's been there since January. But it wasn't a unanimous decision. Some officials are concerned about inflation, driven in part by the higher oil prices. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down to 71.15 US. West Texas Intermediate up over $5 to 84.69 US a barrel. Western Canadian Select is down another $3 to 62.14. And the TSX lost 415 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marella Fernandez.
As we come to Kaylin for the last look at weather, it's been announced, Kaylin, that the Mooseland Road wildfire in eastern Nova Scotia is now under control. So that's certainly some good news there, and we hope the same is soon true for New Brunswick.
That's great news. Those are the type of updates we certainly want to hear about when it comes to those wildfires. Let's take a look at your picture for tonight. It's a beautiful shot. It has some ocean, it has some sky, and it's got that nearly full moon just caught between a break in the cloud cover. This sent in from Bruce Reynolds from yesterday. I want to thank Bruce very much for sending in that beautiful scene from Ingonish in Cape Breton, Nova Scotia, where for tomorrow it's mostly cloudy and some showers are expected mostly afternoon and evening, high of near 19 degrees. First thing tomorrow, though, we'll have some scattered showers moving into the Maritime, especially for mainland Nova Scotia, where they will have a risk of some very localized downpours. And then in the afternoon, it remains mostly cloudy, with showers becoming a little bit more isolated around the Maritime region. Let's find out what's ahead on your Morning Atlantic.
Thursday on Your Morning Atlantic, a visit to Canada's Naval Memorial. Join us on our tour of the historic HMCS Sackville on the Halifax waterfront. Start your morning with us Thursday on Your Morning Atlantic on CTV2 and Crave.
And at 6 o'clock tomorrow night, Skin in the Game. Intelligence can help with early detection of skin cancer and how the new technology is being used here at home. That's tomorrow night on your newscast. Finally, for us tonight, new research shows chimpanzees comfort each other during stressful situations, just like humans do. Scientists say these connections help ease tension and prevent conflict in groups. The findings also shed light on the animal's evolutionary path. Humans and chimpanzees are all linked to a common ancestor species that lived about 7 million years ago. Friendly touch to bring comfort and diffuse tension might be, they think, an evolutionary behavior. Chimps also use gentle pats proactively to help prevent their peers from getting upset. That is our look at the day here at home. Stephanie Seacoast is in for Bruce Frisco tonight at 11:30. The web and the app have updates anytime. I'm Todd Battis. Hope to see you right here tomorrow night at 6. Till then, have a good night.
CTV News, the Maritime's #1 newscast. Watch live on Crave.